They're at AMAC. They sponsor our headlines. They sponsor our economic news that are coming up. We'll have the opening bell in just a minute. So let's bring in our friend Andy Mangione. He is the Senior Vice President at AMAC Action, which is their arm that actually obviously focuses on political action. Andy, good morning. Welcome back, sir.
Good morning. Thanks for having me. Good to see you all.
You know, we made a big deal late last week, and I think it was appropriate about this hearing that Jim Jordan and others led on the Republican side to hear about the weaponization of government and how free speech rights have been restricted by the government, yes, but also big tech. And RFK Jr. was one of the stars of this. Interesting to me that the Democrats on the committee is what we highlighted. We're trying at a censorship hearing
to censor him.
Right. Which was odd, but maybe appropriate given what they've been up to on the left, number one. But number two, a couple of folks with the Kennedy campaign contacted me over the weekend and said he raised several $1 million after that hearing because patriots out there, some Republicans and independents, as well as Democrats, are standing up and saying, we've got to demand our free speech rights back. And I understand AMAC is working. There's a new bill that's been introduced in Congress to get back to free speech. Talk about that and why you're getting behind it, sir.
Absolutely. AMAC members hold dear and they hold sacred their right to free speech, and they insist that we as an organization work to protect these rights. Well, as you mentioned, last week, Senator Rand Paul and Congressman Jim Jordan introduced the Free Speech Protection Act. And this bill will prohibit executive branch employees and contractors from using their positions to censor and attack speech that's protected by the First Amendment. It's amazing that we need a bill like this day and age, but nothing surprises me. What's very important about this bill is that it also imposes mandatory severe penalties to any executive branch employee who censors speech. This is a great bill. And as an organization, we're happy to support it on behalf of the AMAC membership.
Yeah, what an important bill. Absolutely.
It is. What are the co-sponsors so far? I mean, what's the sense of how many people are getting behind us? Is it a bipartisan effort, sir?
Well, the bill was introduced on Thursday, and it's going to be kind of difficult to pick off some of those Democrat co-sponsors. So it's in its infancy. It was originally co-sponsored, as I mentioned before, by Jim Jordan. We're keeping an eye on this to see what kind of activity. And usually in these kinds of cases, we will reach out to our members, to reach out to the member of Congress to get them to support this bill. But I think that thus far, let me put it this way, we haven't seen an avalanche of Democratic support for this bill.
I'm not surprised. Real quick, we've got about 30 seconds. What do we do about the fact that, when big tech colluded with this government, the FBI and others, to suppress free speech and not let the New York Post and others report about the Hunter laptop? I mean, we did a story last week about how a lot of what was in that laptop has been confirmed, and yet you can't claw it back. You can't, get your free speech rights back from 2020. Nope. And Donald Trump is sitting here saying that was election interference, and there's nothing it seems like we can do about it. Your last thought.
Well, we hear from our members, what can I do? What can I do? And the best thing that we can tell them is to sit across the kitchen table and talk about these issues with their members. with fellow AMAC members, with family members, with people they worship with neighbors, to raise awareness as to what exactly is going on in this country, and ring that bell of alarm to the invasion by the big government led by Joe Biden, and this attack on our free speech rights and other civil rights.
We're glad you're speaking out. The bell, there's another bell ringing. You mentioned that. It's ringing on Wall Street. We got to get to that. You hear that bell. Let's play that. And the economic news. Andy, thank you. We'll see you soon. Sponsored by AMAC.
Conservative voice for Americans 50 and older. AMAC is fighting for the values that you hold dear. Join today. Together, we can write the course of America.